All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. Today we got a lot of different things to talk about. We've got some Q&A from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so we'll get into that. We've got another epic play of the week coming, but we are going to start with what we usually start with what's on your mind. And Lou, we're going to let you go first today because I know you're just boiling over there. I know we were talking a little off air. We had to restart this. I didn't have a great take when we first started, so I know Lou's got a couple things for what's on his mind. So we're going to let Lou go first, and we're just going to get right into this.
I'm not boiling. I think you had a little bit of a diva moment there, but it's okay. It happens.
That's bad out of me. That's bad out of me.
So, all right. So what's on my mind? A couple things. One was I just turned on YouTube to turn on the cat video for Zipper to watch, and there was an ad for PWCC playing. So that was kind of interesting to me, and I thought it was pretty strange. I didn't know PWCC was running ads now. So that was interesting. And you can hear Zipper. He was not a fan.
Talk to me real quick about these cat videos that you put on for them.
Yeah, so there's videos on YouTube. I thought everyone knew about this. There's videos on YouTube of like birds and like snowfall and squirrels, stuff like that, and you play them and it like relaxes them typically. Today's not the day it's working, but typically you put that on and they just watch it. It's like when you put on Animal Planet for a pet when you leave the house. You ever do that?
I just feel like the cats get a little bit more feisty.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed.
A little bit. It kind of depends on his energy for sure. Okay, so yeah, there's that. And then the other thing I wanted to point out was it was a big weekend for Lewis in the F1 world this weekend. A massive win, a very unexpected win. Just the mark of a champion, the mark of greatness, and you love to see it.
Love it.
I just keep looking at Connor McDavid rookie cards. I came across the 1989 Pro Set Santa card that I was checking out.
How much did it sell for?
It sold for $1,300, something like that, and
That's
$1,700 on like November 4th. The PSA 10.
I'd love to know what that
53.
card did. I'd love to know what that did last year.
I've been looking at that. I saw, Rye, you were looking at putting together like a Disney set for Reg, right?
Yeah, there's like a 1956 cartooning set from Disney, and I think I have a picture on my phone, but they're some of the best looking like Disney cards that I've seen so far. So I think one day I'll try to put that set together. It's not super expensive. They just don't pop up a whole lot.
Yeah. I'm actually going. I'm going to see McDavid play. He's playing at the Garden tonight.
Oh, you're going tonight?
Yeah.
Nice.
Rangers Oilers. That'll be sweet. Any night in the Garden is great. A little chippy today. Little edgy today, must say, and jumped down Ryan's throat when he tried to claim that my fandom and take of Ryan Tannehill has been anything but above average compared to what everyone else says, and you called him a bad quarterback. You know what people pay for winning quarterbacks?
So you think Ryan Tannehill is why they're winning games?
I think Ryan Tannehill, if you put him on most teams, is better than their quarterback. Like most
really
GMs
close.
Would love to have Ryan Tannehill.
You think Ryan Tannehill is a top 16 quarterback in the league?
I think Ryan Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
That's wild.
That's fair.
That's wild.
Ryan,
can you name 10 quarterbacks better than
what
Ryan
it means
Tannehill?
to have a quarterback?
10? Okay, let's
you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like.
Arizona Cardinals. So Kyler, Russell Wilson in that division. For sure, there's two. Aaron Rodgers.
No, you can. Both of those guys are fair. Let's keep going.
Russell Wilson.
10. All I got to do is name there's 32 quarterbacks. I only got to name 10?
Right now. I'm taking
better
Tannehill over Russell Wilson.
You're saying Russell Wilson, you're taking Ryan Tannehill?
Yep.
That's probably aggressive.
Today,
but
for going forward, Ryan Tannehill over Russell Wilson.
That's probably
okay, keep going.
Okay, wait. Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. So we'll switch divisions. Not taking Fields, not taking Kirk Cousins, definitely not taking Jared Goff. So only Rodgers in that division. That's three. Tom Brady, for sure. I would take Matt Ryan over Tannehill. Matt Ryan's at least been to a Super Bowl.
You're talking about careers, bro. You're telling me that, like, Ryan, we're going to post a podcast, and you're telling me you'd rather have Matt Ryan than Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback today?
Yeah.
We're going to publish this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Cool.
In on that.
We can end it. End it. Next topic.
Next topic. We can get up to like 15 or 16.
You just buried your whole argument, bro.
No way.
Just buried
No
your
way.
entire argument. Next, you're going to tell me you'd rather have Big Ben.
Ryan Tannehill. Handoff Derrick Henry.
You'd
Let's
rather
move
have Teddy
on.
Bridgewater? Like, what are we talking
No,
about,
no,
dude?
no, not Teddy
Santa
Bridgewater.
Claus is a pop 53. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
PSA 10, 54 to PSA
Jason
9.
Matt Ryan is not good. That's crazy.
Let's move on.
Daniel Jones.
What's on
you'd
your
rather
mind,
have him
Ryan?
too?
No, Tannehill.
What's
What
on your
is
mind?
on your mind?
Big thing on my mind. Tyler's
Yeah, I'd rather
lost,
have
like,
Doug. I think Doug Flutie's a better quarterback too. But guess what?
Matt Ryan, brother, you make it sound like Ryan Tannehill is like in the MVP discussion. Like he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Brother, there's 32 quarterbacks in the league, and I'm telling you, I could name at least 12, maybe 15 better than Ryan Tannehill.
You're gonna be wrong with this take. That's okay. Let's go forward.
Jason, please put this up on Instagram. Is
It's
Ryan
Taylor
Tannehill top 10
Oh,
QB?
you guys are both so confident in this. This is gonna be
Top
bad.
10 quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. Can you name 10 people you'd rather have over
You'd
Ryan
rather have
Tannehill?
Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, probably not. It would be
You had to
close.
think about that?
Close.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, let's go. Keep it moving.
You said it was
What's on your mind,
close?
Ryan?
Yeah,
What's on your mind, Ryan?
absolutely. Like Ryan Tannehill's in that same discussion.
Okay, fine.
He's not Dak Prescott.
I don't
he's
wanna-
not
Confused.
Tom
You're
Brady.
confused.
I really don't want to harp on Ryan Tannehill today, so
Keep going. We'll get to
All
Grayson Allen shortly.
please.
Ty and Lou and I were talking about it offline, but getting into basically at this point with Ohio State, Ohio State football is really what I care about most. And at this point, there's no it's win or go home kind of vibes all year. You've got Michigan State this week at home for Senior Day. You got that team up north next week in Ann Arbor. If you win both of those games, you go to the Big Ten Championship, where you're going to play likely Iowa at this point, Wisconsin, Minnesota, one of those teams. Then if you win those 3 games and you go to the playoff, you're playing one of the 2 playoff teams. And if you win again, you're playing the likely Georgia in the college football playoff final. So
Because you'd be the 2 or 3.
what?
Because you'd be the 2 or 3 seed. You want to play them in the semis.
Yeah, if you assume at
Yeah,
this point,
you win the Big Ten. Yeah, I get that.
if Georgia wins out. The only way I think Ohio State has a chance to be number 1, like, because people are saying like Oregon's going to be ahead of Ohio State, but if Ohio State beats the team up north in Michigan State and wins the Big Ten, they're going to jump Oregon, right?
Do you just
And
not refer to them as Michigan? Is this like a Lord Voldemort thing?
no.
Like,
Lou has
that's
said
like
repeatedly-
storming the field, bro. Like beating Penn State. It's like just
I
refer to them
didn't
as
take
Michigan.
credit for
What are you
that.
scared
I
of?
said that was unacceptable.
But now you're not. You're being afraid to refer to Michigan as Michigan. It's
That's
like,
not new though. Ask any like
No, that's true. That's a thing.
ask Lou. He says Ohio.
That's soft.
That's
Lou's
true.
not a Michigan fan, right? Don't go there.
That's true too. Lifelong Georgia guy. Fan since day one.
So yeah, I think it'll be it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Just getting a little nervous. Don't want to don't ever want to lose. Definitely don't want to lose this time of year. So hopefully the next couple weeks go our way. But been excited for F1. I told you guys about that last week. Picked up that Leclerc auto.
So it's a big signing this morning, right?
You talking? I was in a group on Twitter and I
So he's the first Chinese driver ever in
signed
F1.
with
Alpha.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Pretty
did
big
see
deal.
that.
People are excited about it. He's got a lot of fans.
I gotta finish season 3 at this point of Drive to Survive. I'm like 6 episodes in. I need to like finish that and get that wrapped up.
Just
But yeah.
logged in.
I'm a bit intrigued for that. One thing I was gonna say before we get too much into Q&A, we did not talk last week about that McDavid goal. I don't think about that.
Like one of the best goals ever.
Lou, did you see that?
No. I'm gonna look it up right now though. Keep
Rangers were up 4-0.
Yeah,
against
look at
Rangers.
McDavid versus Rangers goal.
Rangers were up 4-0. They come back tie at 4-4. I might get buried if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the 5th goal. And he went through 5 people from the blue line to the goal and dusted.
talking.
the
Oh
goal.
my god.
Yeah,
It's
wild.
Not
it was
even
5-4,
real.
by the way.
It was the 5th goal, right? After being down 4-0.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just
I watched it like
Unbelievable.
10 times in a row. It's crazy.
it's gonna get crazy with McDavid. Like what
Hockey's
he
one
did
of those
last
sports.
season shortened, and now the Oilers, I think they're in first place.
Yeah, they were. I saw the other day that they were like 10-2 or something.
Hockey's one of those sports where you can get those like mind-boggling plays. they're hard to come by in a sport like baseball that I love very much, but like just individual like insanity.
Yeah.
Like, that's a crazy goal.
Yeah.
Sick.
Ty, real quick before we move on, last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill or Jalen Hurts?
Ryan, who am I picking for my franchise? Ryan Tannehill or
Jalen Hurts?
I'm taking
Very
Ryan
underrated.
Tannehill.
That's fair.
I
Jalen
agree.
Hurts.
I agree. Jalen Hurts is very underrated.
Jalen Hurts is getting better. That's a guy that I smoked earlier in the year. And has
But
definitely
you
grown.
can't tell me if you're a GM right now and you have the choice for the next X amount of years, you're taking Jalen Hurts over Ryan Tannehill.
I don't have anything to say. Nothing
Got
to
it.
say.
Just putting that
We
one out.
also, I mean, obviously, I think before we go into questions, I think we'd be remiss to not bring up the PSA news that came up 2 nights ago.
Was that the 2 weeks comment
For
from
regular? Yeah,
I like
I think it's a pretty big
Sir
deal.
Mo just dropping in an IG comment.
Yeah, that's a classic move.
Yeah, it's respectable.
I think it's pretty exciting. What do you think the price is going to be, Ryan? Well, actually, wait. There's probably a question about it, huh? Jay, is there a question about that? Either way, I think there is. Okay, it's a big story. I think it's very exciting. It's what we were hoping for. Regular back by the end of 2022. That's by the end of 2021. That's pretty great.
Yep. And like Lou mentioned, we'll hit on that here in a second. Jason mentioned there's a question coming up about it, but I think we would be foolish not to at least talk about the Chiefs panic meter, because I know that's something we've referenced a lot on this show, and I would probably predict Lou's going to update the meter and have it the other way this
The
time.
Chiefs are back.
They're in first place.
Back. Fully back. Home field advantage in the playoffs. Back.
I might have alluded to it the last couple episodes, but I'll leave it there.
It was probably the most obvious thing of all time.
Yeah.
Like, hello, everybody. It's Patrick Mahomes. Let's not.
Who made a play?
confused.
Didn't Jay? You made a play.
I think Jay made a play, yeah.
Yeah, Jason said he made a play.
And I almost sold that one that I have. I'm glad I kept it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they dismantled the Raiders. Dismantled them.
Beat
And
the shit. And last night was crazy, too. The Niners beat the shit out of the Rams.
what's going on with the Rams? They were good. Hey, they were good.
It's a combination of Stafford and McVay, like those two forces just meeting, and like it just gets crazy. It's like bad things
They're
are
not
gonna
getting
happen.
it done.
I mean,
Their
like,
offense looks like eh.
I watched the second half last night, and like the first 3 possessions, somebody drops a pass on third down. They go 3 and out.
They had a bunch of
Killer.
drops last night.
Just drop.
Drops are such killers, man.
Drops are the worst.
And
You know
shout
who
out
my
to-
favorite player in the NFL is?
Corey Davis, because he drops everything.
Hold on.
No,
Your
Debo
fav-
Samuel.
Oh, I'm
Debo's
sorry.
pretty cool.
I wouldn't
Pretty
guess
cool,
that.
man.
Who are you gonna say?
I would have probably said Mike White.
No, Debo
Oh.
Samuel. That guy is electric, bro. He's
Yeah,
a
guys,
beast.
what's the take like? In what's Jets fandom now? What's that
There's
looking
no
like?
take, bro. There's no take. It's
The
bad.
true take, Rye, is just pain. Like, it's literally just pain. There's just nothing good that happens. Like, everything that's good that happens to the Jets just gets destroyed
So
immediately.
what do you like? What are you looking for like the rest of the year going into the draft? Like what's your hope?
Incremental progress from Zach, meaning like
Catch the ball.
not.
So Mike
yeah,
Mike White's done.
Yeah, it's over for Mike. Serviceable backup, which is great, but like,
You're trying to figure out what you got with Zach.
gotta figure it out. Gotta see some growth from Zach the rest of the way, because the first 5 weeks were not pretty.
Need it from Zach.
Can't play hero ball anymore. This is not Coastal Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
It's pain. It's just pain all
It's
around.
just all pain.
It's
here
not
for
quite
it.
the amount of pain as being a
I'm
Penn
here
State
for
fan,
this.
but it's pain.
And it's like Rex Ryan yelling at Saleh for no reason. Like, it's just the whole thing is just pain.
Salah's
Jay,
got
we
like
gotta find
issues with his home renovations. It's like what?
He's in
We
a
gotta find some
hotel.
of these clips.
It's just ridiculous.
Early 2021 season Jets takes.
going
There was
Iron
going to
Bar.
be the Patriots were going to stink. The Jets were back.
Patriots do stink, by the way. They're overrated.
they
this whole
don't. They're a
this whole
top 10
playoff
team.
talk that
You
they
just
beat
said Matt Ryan was better
they
than
beat-
Ryan Tannehill.
They beat the Jets
currently.
twice, the Texans, and like some other random team, and then they beat the Browns this week. They stink.
Ty, even if you say Ryan Tannehill and Matt Ryan are equal, or Matt Ryan is one less, there still doesn't take away the fact that there's still 12 quarterbacks currently better than Ryan Tannehill.
I
Probably
don't think there's
15.
12. I don't think
Again,
there's 12
wrong.
quarterbacks.
Matt's, hey, are you taking Stafford?
Yeah.
O-
You
over
can- you-
Tannehill, yes.
So that's 3 in one division. You mean to tell me there's not 9 more in 7
You
other
picked like the
conferences?
strongest division of quarterbacks.
Like these is like right.
You picked like the strongest the strongest division for quarterbacks.
Okay, so
Talk
that's
through.
I just want to double check which
In the
Below
AFC East,
Tannehill.
there's 1.
Garoppolo,
NFC East, there's
Cousins,
0.
Matt Ryan. Let me guess, Carson Wentz. Yeah, you're taking him
No,
over
Carson
him,
Wentz,
right?
absolutely not.
Derek Carr, Tua, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Russell
Wait,
Wilson.
you're not taking Derek Carr over Tannehill?
No, I'm not. One of them wins football games and has been winning a lot of
See, that's
football
the problem.
games over
Is
the last 2
you're
years.
like when the Rams went to the Super Bowl, did they go to the Super Bowl because of Jared Goff? So why does
What?
Ryan Tannehill get all the credit?
Because it's been
Well, because he's
multiple
playing
years,
well.
bro.
There's a difference. That's not fair because he actually plays well and Goff was objectively bad. It's different. I know what
I'm
you're
so
getting at.
confused
Q&A.
that Ryan Tannehill
Q&A.
is like the reason the Jets are winning games.
Q&A.
Or the Titans are winning. I'm so
Q&A.
confused. We got to come back to this. I want to talk about
No,
this
we
once.
don't. I
Well,
promise
next
we
week.
don't.
Next week. Once we get some like results, we got to talk about this. All right, so Ty's loving it this morning. Ty, like Ty said, he's a little on edge this morning, so
Yep.
we're just sitting there just poking him.
Yep.
And I'm not sure Ryan Tannehill's what's going to make him snap, but we'll follow back on it next
Yeah,
week.
we'll be good there.
All right, let's get into Q&A. Jay got these from Twitter, IG, Facebook, so all over. These are going to be a little rapid fire Q&A.
How about Cam Newton? I'm back.
That was great too, yeah.
All right, so Mike Gio says, what price point and return time do you expect for the PSA regular that Nat says is coming back in 2 weeks?
I think it'll be $75. That is my prediction because that leaves room for bulk to be like 45 or 50.
$75 for regular.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I'll take the over.
That is my prediction.
You think it's high, Ty?
76.50.
All right, so Joe Provost says, assuming prices are the same, which one are you taking, Kaboom or game used patch auto? That's hard. There's so many different sets.
Yeah, I'm probably going with Kaboom because it's more unique.
Yeah, I mean, it would depend on like what it is, like what it's from. I would typically prefer game used patch auto, especially if it's on card. I just would rather have that personally as a collector, but it depends on, there's a lot that goes into that.
There's a lot of game used patch auto cards that kind of suck.
I think I'm going to go game use patch auto. I think for any top tier player, I think autographs, look out 5-10 years from now. I think they're going to be held in higher demand, especially on card autos, because I think players are going to get smarter and not do auto deals.
As many? That's a very interesting take time.
If any.
They
If
are,
any, yeah.
They are asking. I would 100% agree with you. Like they're being asked to sign a lot at this point. There's a lot of product. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Fanatics takes over. But yeah, that's one thing I'm super, super intrigued by, especially like you said, with what I said earlier, it's how much they're signing. That's some of these guys are signing probably what, I mean, at this point, is Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, are those guys signing more or less than 100,000 stickers?
Probably a little less.
What do you think?
I was gonna say like 25K, 50K.
You think it's only 25,000 stickers?
NIL.
It's a lot of stickers, bro.
The just understanding of leverage, Zion on down. Now the one dude who's the homie, the high school hooper that just got the Puma deal. Like I just think that these players with NFTs just are starting to understand leverage more. Like I think it's gonna be harder to put a game used jersey in a card because the value chain is like, why give that up?
It's the autograph. Like the autograph thing definitely has my wheels spinning now. Like
that has potential to be a really big thing because that totally changes the value of a box of cards because they're still going to find a way to get autos.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a lot more.
And
for
maybe
a
they have
box.
to pay more, and then maybe they're more retail, and then all the old stuff becomes more expensive.
I mean, there are products now, Ty, that like clearly Donruss basketball or Revolution basketball, like where you're not guaranteed autos, right? Where you're like you chase like Galactics or you chase like
I think the gap
SPs.
between sticker autos and on-card autos is for me. I don't know why. Just like in my gut, I'm like so much more fond of on-card autos, but as every day goes by, than sticker autos. It's just like really gives, I think, brevity to the card that it was signed by the player, that specific card, rather than just stickers in a room and slapped on. But yeah.
Lou, your face just lit up there. What'd you get?
No Syndergaard, Sound of the Angels. Pretty crazy.
Thor.
Pretty crazy
Wow.
signing.
Oh.
They'll find a way to still stink though. So
All right, so Tud Kerr asks, what are some current inserts or subsets that you think could be as valuable long term as the 90 sets, PMGs, beam teams, etc.? So I know we've talked about this a lot on here. The most common one we talk about is the Kaboom. That's mentioned quite regularly. Outside of the Kaboom, what would you guys say? For me, it's got to be Galactics.
I've liked Downtown, the early iterations of Downtown.
Yeah,
I think especially if a player ends up like really staying in a city and like committing to that city, like if Booker's long term Phoenix, or I've liked what's happened there. For some reason, I just think there's some there. The whammies are like kind of interesting in a weird way. The big headed joints.
the baseball ones.
Yeah, the baseball
Yeah.
whammies. What I don't know, Levi's did the thing, Game Fuel just did the thing, but like, what's the new age Dunkin' Donuts joint gonna
Yeah,
be?
there isn't one really.
Because that, those inserts, I think also not really
the
talked about here as much, but
the Dunkin' Go Nuts.
yeah,
Yeah, that's an
that's
awesome
just an all time good set.
Fantastic set. Lou, have any thoughts on that?
I'm trying to think. Like, there's got to be. Of course, there's something.
So I'm thinking things like On the Horizon, the Cosmics that Panini does, like those special release packs. I mean, the Kaboom is by far the most obvious one. Like that's the one that gets so much love in the hobby now. Nothing
Complete left field, but
nothing's coming into my mind right now. I'm trying to think.
I like the alt prisms. I don't know, they're not an insert, but the mosaic prisms.
Like the Disco?
Is that what they are, or are they just the?
You're talking about like a prism, like a
mosaic
card from Prism that's like the bubbles on it.
I guess it's the early mosaic is what I'm trying to get at.
Like
the
first year?
Luka and Trey mosaics. Luka mosaic.
Before Mosaic was its own standalone.
I think so. Yeah.
Genesis, that's another one. 8 cards away from completing that entire thing.
Genesis is the other one that I think that has a shot. Yeah.
The reason I like the Genesis one, it like I saw it in 12-13 with the Prism basketball. Like it's a retail exclusive parallel. You can't pull it in a hobby box. I think those chase cards, like that kind of stuff where you can only get them in one product, makes something like that intriguing.
Yeah, the Prism mosaic, like for Luka, where he's doing like the pass like to the side. Yeah, I like those cards a lot. Not necessarily an insert, but I don't know why I just brought it up.
All right, Noah asks, how do you feel about the value of rare inserts and autographs now that there are so many from every product? What we were just talking about. Gold out of 10, gold ice out of 10, gold wave out of 10, all numbered to 10, but the same product is actually 30 gold cards from that product.
I actually don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's a little bit overblown in my opinion. Because I think I think the concern being like there's too many out of 10s, or like there's too many golds or whatever. Like I think there's room for both. Like obviously the true gold is going to be one thing, and I think like a gold wave has a value on its own, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think aesthetics come more into play in these parallels.
Aesthetics come into play more? What do you mean?
Like meaning as numbered cards get more popular, I can call it, like does the color of 50 that makes it pop way more and is much more aesthetically pleasing than of 25, which I believe happens for some colors. Like they're just
team color.
they're just much more in demand. I think that starts to be more of a factor. Like, okay, cool, I get that's up 25, but this of 65 is of higher value because it's just a much more aesthetically pleasing card.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that. It's also that thing. I think they kind of do it already in a way where they try to like make the lesser serial number more valuable. Like in theory, the gold should be like the one.
Well, Kaboom, it's weird, right?
Yeah, green makes no sense.
Green as 1 and gold as of 10.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But
interesting. All right, Jay, next question. This one's from Brandon. It says, this is one for Ryan. Have you ever had to cut anyone off when they're opening cases of cards? LOL.
Have you ever had pure degenerates walk into your store trying to chase inserts and you just had to say, bruh, stop spending your money?
No. I mean, you've like never cut somebody off. I mean, we've like when we first opened and you needed to sell something, sometimes you would like, hey, open this box and like you can pay after you're done. And then at some point you get a couple boxes in and you're like, hey, I can't afford to lose this money. And he hasn't done super well so far. That's not something we do anymore as much, just for risk purposes. But no, this is where it's like, hey, if you're getting absolutely smoked on this, maybe we should talk about like, hey, maybe this product isn't what we want to be ripping. Maybe this has better value. So again, it's just all about education, right? Kind of leading somebody to something that might be a better use of their dollar.
Love that.
But no, never had to specifically cut anybody off. All right, Nick, Todd, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I'm good.
I was saying that was really funny. It's like a possibility. They gave me like, yo, chill.
Nick asks, what's more liquid in your mind, a BGS 9.5 or a PSA 9? And would you still buy the one you say is less liquid?
Feels incredibly situational.
Yeah.
Like there's a million different factors baked into like BGS 9. I really wouldn't buy a BGS card unless it was like a specific type of card to begin with. And then like, like I feel like that's way too open-ended of a question.
Yeah, I agree with Lou. It's definitely situational. Now, Lou, I've got to ask you because this makes me think about this. Did you see the BGS 8.5 to PSA 10 crack
I did.
on that Lewis? So
I was very surprised by that.
There was a Lewis Hamilton at a Sapphire at a 99. It was a BGS 8.5. Somebody cracked it and sent it to PSA and got a 10. That seems wild.
I honestly was very confused. I'm still very confused. I don't understand how that's possible. Yeah. I was under the impression that wasn't possible. So I don't understand how that happened.
Very interesting. Ty, which one are you taking? BGS 9.5 or PSA 9?
I actually like BGS 9.5s. Again, that is all very situational, so it depends on the card. I can't really go there, but I think I'm more of a fan of BGS 9.5 than Lou. You just buried BGS, right?
I didn't bury them in any way.
Well, you said like you wouldn't go there.
I said it's situational.
But
I would buy.
in general, you wouldn't.
I've changed my opinion. I would buy more BGS now, especially F1 because it does better. But I also think I've come to learn and understand myself that like jerseys, like patches and stuff like that, I think might be better in BGS cases because you can get a more fair grade, in my opinion.
Respect.
All right, so the next one's from Eric. It says, thoughts on HGA as a lot of their comps on newer cards graded by them are now selling for SGC prices, if not higher.
So I think we should talk about the HGA announcement from yesterday, right? In relation to this. Right, did you read that at all?
No.
Let me pull it up real quick. The long and short of what they were saying was the reality that a lot of these companies, or all of these companies, have faced of like, hey, we've exceeded, like demand has exceeded our capabilities to operate right now. We need to slow it down a little bit for a multitude of reasons. I think he listed there was COVID issues, there was health department issues, things like that. So that's all part of it. And I thought, and I was saying in the chat last night, I am more interested to see what happens with HGA now over the next like 6 to 10 months than I was previously, based on the fact that now they're facing a real issue as a business, and I'm like excited to see them face it. The same thing happened with SGC, right? Like their demand got too overwhelming, and they had to shut down for a little bit, and they've come back a stronger company for it. I think HJ has that same opportunity, so I'm really interested to see what happens.
What was the punchline of the?
They were slowing. They had to slow down operations. They had already been slowing down. It just wasn't announced.
It was SGC that did the video. That was like, we're gonna meet these days. We're gonna say the days are more than they actually are. Right? That was SGC.
Correct.
Yep.
HGA did a post yesterday being like, "Hey, we're behind, so we need to slow it down." Basically, people in the comments have been saying, "You've had my card since June, July," which, again, it's just part of it. Like, this is just how it goes down, and eventually you have to say like, "Hey, we're going to be behind for a little while."
Mm-hmm.
And when you've built your business on we are not going to do that.
Exactly. That is definitely the takeaway on that. And that's where I think PSA is just like, PSA's got to see that, where so many companies are like, hey, we're not going to do this. And then like, oh shit, we said we're not going to do this. And then people send us a million cards, and then we do the exact thing we said we're not going to do.
It's just an obvious ending to the story. Like, you cannot just continue to take more cards in. The biggest company had to shut down for 6 months. What do you think's going to happen?
Even open all the way back up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you think's going to happen with a smaller company that's just starting out of the ground? And credit to them for building. I'm sure you can go back and find clips of us saying like, yeah, whatever. Like, they've built a real business. So like, let's see what happens now.
Yep. Agreed. All right. This one's from Taryn. It says, if Pulisic stays healthy, how far can that take the men's team? Will we see England net another 10-0 win?
Ty, how good is the U.S. national team, really? Can they get through the group stage at the World Cup?
Yeah. They can.
That's really good, though. No?
Yeah. Round of 16. Yeah, the first, I think, expanded World Cup's the 2026. I don't think it's this one.
Oh, there's a match tonight?
They might be. Yeah, they're playing tonight.
Let's go.
Yeah, I love it. Let's go. That's important. That's what we need.
I was genuinely excited to see that.
How far can that take the men's team? I think he's an important piece. I think that maybe the quarters. I think we might be able to sneak the quarters. Would be like a real strong showing. Will we see England net another? I think they played San Marino. Net another 10-0 win. So I wouldn't look into that much. Like, footy's fickle in that regard. Sometimes you win 10-0 and you play worse than when you win 3-0. So maybe in our lifetime.
In our lifetime.
It's just kind of like
possibly, potentially,
a random question.
Ken went to high school with on that team too, by the way. I think I told you.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Turner.
Nice.
All right, Johnny asks, with Ken Goldin's TV show coming out next year on Netflix, do you see the market appreciating to 2020 prices once the general public is exposed? The general public has been exposed. The cards are mainstream. They are no longer a secret investment that
nobody's fooling anybody anymore.
Yeah. And that's one thing I took away from Josh Luber's paper was, when will we see prices back to October or August of last year or March of this year? And I'm just not sure it's going to be super, super, super soon. If we ever get back to those prices, I'm bullish on cards long-term, obviously. And I think there's other things that can help this, right? Like, I think Ken's thing is great for cards. I don't think the exposure is bad. And I don't think, it would be bad if like Barstool started doing card stuff, right? I think there's a lot of attention that could come from that. So I think there's a lot more.
Well, they are, right? Don't they have a breaker?
Not really.
Not really.
It was like almost there.
Yeah,
it was like almost there, Ty. But they like Ken does stuff with Part of My Take every once in a blue.
Gotcha.
So I'm talking like more regular content from Barstool. Like that would definitely open some eyes. There are things like that I think are coming. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot at the moment. I mean, I'm not sure there's anything right away that's gonna make the 2020 prices pop up again.
I think that's true, and I also think when when people say like back to 2020 prices, I think they're talking about a combination of get to that number and also the velocity of how we got to that number. I don't see that velocity returning in any time soon.
Mm-hmm.
With like the quick shoot ups, and I would argue that's a good thing. So like that, both of those, I don't think we're going to see that velocity again for a while.
Agreed. All right, so second to last question is from Jordan here. It says, what impact will the Brady docuseries Man in the Arena have on the Brady market or the overall card market as a whole?
I'm going to be real nothing based on our conversation this morning.
Zero.
So Tyler was a little surprised that ESPN Plus, which is where this documentary is at, dropped the first episode this morning. So this is it's currently 10:27 Tuesday morning. Dropped
feels like no chatter
earlier today, and Tyler and Lou and Jason and I were chatting about why it dropped on a Tuesday morning.
It was weird. I don't know. It just felt like we knew of it. It was coming, and then all of a sudden it's like live on ESPN Plus on a Tuesday morning. I'm so confused if it was. I don't know. Feels weird.
I can't believe that they dropped it in the middle of the season. He's not going to pay attention to it at all. The whole thing is driven by him participating in the conversation around the documentary.
And it just like the Jordan
and they're bad
documentary
now, so he's out. He's
Jordan
not interested.
Was like, no, you're good. I mean, Jordan documentary dropped at this certain time on ESPN. There was a lot of hype around it. Like everybody, the world was watching at one time, and it was all that people were talking about.
It was early COVID. Like no one was doing anything. Like that's a big factor in that too. Like.
Yeah, now let's drop episode 1 of the greatest, possibly one of the greatest team sport athletes of all time. Let's drop the first episode of a docuseries on
our streaming service. Like, what are we doing?
What I'll say though is that I mean, I don't got anything bad to say about Brady cards. Like, I don't think.
Yeah,
I think they're on an upward trajectory. I mean, man is goated. Like, I I don't think we're going to see a big bump from it, but I don't think that it was like priced in a real way that like you're going to see negative impact from it. I just don't think you're going to. I just don't think it's going to hit like some of his other stuff has done. I mean, to my understanding, he's put out great in-depth content and like a Facebook series that he did. Like, there's deep stuff out there been about him. It just doesn't seem like it was right, but it didn't. You know, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the cultural juice is getting there with this one. But I'll say that I mean bullish on Tom Brady cards long term, no matter
and
what.
As a commentary on the documentary and the way it was made, I don't love that it came out by him, by his production people during his career. Like that seems like we're not going to get the real story of what we're looking for. But that's just me. I want the real Tom Brady story more than anything, and I don't think we're getting it in this documentary.
All right. So last question is from ZMed on Twitter.
The homie. Good people.
Yep.
Agreed. He says, you have to make 100% ROI on a card-related investment by March 1st of next year. What are you gambling on? Wow.
Anything, Carl. It doesn't need to be a certain player. Doesn't need to be a certain card. Could be anything in card. I know my answer, so I want to see what you guys say first.
Do you have your answer?
I do have my answer. I saw this question last night, so I've had some time to think about it.
Shoot.
By all some right, time, I mean like 12 hours.
Luke, get the juices flowing.
So it was two things. The first one was 2020 wax basketball. I think there's some
That's the first thing that comes in my head.
There's some serious juice on LaMelo right now. I think that was the first thing that came to my mind. I think that has the best upside in a short window.
Yep.
And then the other thing that came to my mind, and whatever, people are going to laugh about it, PSA 10 Lewis, I think, is going to be harder and harder to find, and it's going to have a lot of growth, in my opinion.
That's hard to argue. The first thing that comes in my mind is Prism basketball. 2020, 2021 Prism basketball case with LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. I said that the other day, that I was definitely surprised on how well Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball have played to start this season. They look elite. They are definitely going to be superstars in this league. And if you're betting on anything to appreciate in the next 5 months, 6 months, I think sealed wax has continued to be a superior investment in cards for the most part. Again, betting on the class, not a particular player. So you're betting on LaMelo and Edwards and everybody else in the class. I think that matters. So that would definitely be up there. Man, outside of that, what would I take? I mean, another thing you could think about is who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl, right? Because the Super Bowl is in February. So if you think Mahomes is going to come back and win another Super Bowl, Mahomes might not be a bad guy considering his stuff is also super cheap right now compared to where it was peak. I mean, I'm not sure about super cheap. That's probably the wrong wordage there. Ty, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Grayson Allen, PSA 10, 2018. You know what
It's
it goes for right now?
It's actually sneaky, not a bad idea, because if he's going to be the sixth man, it's a really good idea.
They're $30.
Yeah, that's a really
Sold
good idea.
Yesterday.
It's the easiest 100% ROI of all time, because those are definitely going to be $60.
$60.
Easiest 100% ROI of all time.
Boom. So the tie the ball right there with that.
Damn.
It's $30 PSA 10.
Good job, Ty.
Interesting. All right, so let's get into play of the week. Shout out to everybody who submitted questions. Again, if you guys are ever interested in us answering any of your questions live on the show, feel free to get on the Facebook group. It's Card Talk Pod on there, or on Twitter or Instagram. So shout out to Jay for collecting those. We're going to get into play of the week. As always, play of the week is brought to you by eBay, your number one stop for all things cards and collectibles. So if you are new, Jason gets all of these plays from you, the listeners, shows them to Tyler, Lou, and I live on air, and this is the first time we've seen them. We'll go through each of them individually and then pick a winner at the end. So not sure we will be able to top last week's. I'm going to preface that now, but we will see. All right, so this is from Hesse Sports Cards on IG. It says he bought this Brady 2014 Silver Prism raw off of eBay right before the season kicked off, shortly after it was listed. He graded it through SGC. Shout out to SGC for still having great turnaround times. The card received a 10 upon return, and I sold it for $700 a couple days later. Holy cow.
Nice. Good work. That's a good photo. I've never seen that photo before.
Brady life. Yeah, it's a good one.
14 Prism.
Good year, right?
I like 14 Prism. The basketball stuff's sweet. I think it's exactly.
Yeah, it's Levine, Wiggins, Parker,
right?
Embiid. Yeah.
When you feel confident in something, and then the second it leaves your mouth, and then you're like, fuck, I feel like I might be wrong, and I just came with such confidence.
And then you're right.
Me with Levine. Yeah. I knew it then, and then I'm like, fuck, I might sound like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, buying it raw, even says excellent condition in the title, get an SGC 10. Hard to argue with that. Again, Tyler mentioned it earlier. We're obviously pretty bullish on Tom Brady cards. I think Brady stuff long term is really an interesting play. So shout out to him. 125 into 700. Can't really beat it. All right, so this is from Bam_sports cards. It says, got this last year for $790. Seller was being a little harsh on it in the description. It was an auction from Hong Kong. Sent it to my grader recently for evaluation, and he thinks it's a PSA 9 or a PSA 8 on a bad day. It's currently a PSA and should have results of the grade in the next couple weeks. A BGS 9.5 Min Gem just sold for $20K recently. It's a Giannis Kaboom 2018 gold at a 10 with Reed in the title. So for those that don't know, oftentimes people will put Reed in the title if there's something wrong with the card. Kind of, it's a flag to somebody to let them know that, hey, you want to check this out. It's cheap because there's something wrong with it. So please pay attention before bidding type thing. So that is mentioned in the title, but he paid $790 for the card. And as he mentioned, a BGS 9.5 Min Gem, so Min Gem being 3 9.5s and a 9, or 3 9.5s and an 8. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, 3 9.5s and a 9. He said a BGS 9.5 Min Gem just sold for $20,000. So you would assume a PSA 8 is going to do somewhere around 12.5, 13,
Yeah, I was gonna say like 14
13.5?
was in my head. Yeah.
12.5, 13.5. BGS or PSA 9's probably pretty close to that 20,000, if not, a couple bucks more or less. So yeah, not bad for 790. I would like to see the card graded. I would like to see it back in hand and sold, but to be ahead on Kabooms like that, I mean, he bought this June 22nd of last year. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I think the harsh in the description is interesting. I can't until we see the grade. I can't give it too much. Can't read into it too much.
Yeah, I feel
personally.
like the seller is a better person to know the status of the card than the person reading the eBay auction.
Yeah, but one of those things, like, to be fair here, like, if a card is messed up, you want to be harsh on it because, I can tell you, we've had people like, hey, the corner's dinged. You put that in the title, and the guy's like, yeah, the corner was a little bit more dinged than I thought it was. I'd like to return this. So things like that, if you're like, hey, this card's not going to get a PSA 9, please don't buy it. You kind of you set yourself up for, hey, somebody not being like, hey, this card's not going to grade well, I'll pass.
Quick sidebar. I know we have to get through Player of the Week really fast. Everybody cut it the fuck out. The corner was a little softer than I thought. Fuck off.
I'll
Figure
send you the messages as
Figure
we
it
get
out
on a weekly basis.
That is such bullshit. Anyway.
Everyone's trying to get theirs.
Real quick, side note. We got a message on eBay the other day from a guy who had the post office says the package was delivered, right? Says it was delivered. Messages us a couple days later, hey, I never got this. All right, may want to reach out to your local post office, right? Maybe see what happened. And it was, hey, you need to talk to the guy that runs the YouTube page. I'm going to leave a scathing review. You have my $10. I don't have my card.
A scathing review on your
Scathing
YouTube.
review. I have the message. I'm like, guys, let's
Everybody cool.
Whoa.
All right, so the Giannis, I don't think technically it's a good card. I don't think he can win because it hasn't been sold.
Nah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hell of a play.
Off.
Next.
That we think.
Oh, this will be awesome. Adam knows what he's
First
doing right
auto
here.
red refractor.
All right, so Adam, this is Snap. It's more. Pre-ordered 2 boxes of MLS Chrome back in March for $120 each. When they arrived, I opened them and found this Ricardo Pepe auto at a 5. The next weekend, he scored for the men's national team, and his prices went crazy. Choices were either selling the hype or send a PSA. It did look clean, and hope he continued performing while it was getting graded. I consulted with a bigger soccer collector I met on Twitter about pricing the card. Started bidding about $4,500, and ended up listing it. He said, I sent him a box of MLS Chrome as a thank you. Sold an auction for $7,900. Bought a few more boxes and ended up hitting another one of his autos at a 25. And that card is with Ryan for grading right now. Yikes. Holy cow.
And he
shout out
blessed the
Oklahoma.
homie with the advice. I mean, that is hobby love right there.
That is.
Homie gives you his advice and you send him a box, bro. That's how the game works.
That's
positive vibes.
Works.
A lot of
The
love.
game works.
Yes.
4 bids. Got it done. 100% positive feedback. Adam's in the mix. Color
Adam sends
match.
in a lot of stuff. He sends in a good amount of stuff for grading. He knows what he's doing.
Good work, Adam.
He's always got an eye for some stuff. So I like this. It's a good play.
That's good work.
2021 MLS is a nice card.
They've done a decent job.
Yeah, I think 2021 MLS, like that stuff, it doesn't get a whole lot of love now. But if the U.S. team does anything in the World Cup, there's a few guys in that set.
Makes sense.
That have cards like that, Pepe being one of them. So I think it'll be interesting. It's an interesting product to watch.
Go on.
All right, so this is from Boise_card guy on IG. Greg says, here's my play. I was at the Boise Card and Memorabilia show this Saturday with my daughter. Went bargain hunting. I love it. And found a good amount of cards I wanted to make a deal on. Tons of Griffeys, Kobe's, Jordans, etc. But the gem I found was this Tebow Fleer Precious Metal Gems out of 50. Oh, my goodness. He says, I asked the guy how much. He said $45 for 44 cards. Are you kidding me? He said, no hesitation. I just gave him the man his money, went home that night and put it up on eBay. About 2 hours later, I struck a deal with a guy to buy it now for $120 for a card that cost me $1.02. Wow. This is the play. I love the PMG stuff. Tebow is an icon. His stuff sells super well. He's one of the best college football players of the last ever. I mean, like, gets a lot of love in Florida. His stuff sells really well. Value box plays. This wrap it up. This one wins. This is the winner. I would love to see the other cards. I will preface. I would love to see the other cards. Like the other cards that he bought. The 44 cards.
that he bought. That he bought.
I would love to know what those are. What else was in that value box play? Now, wait.
One more.
Lou and Tyler, I've got to give some feedback on this. Maybe I shouldn't be so quick on this. We gave Jason shit for not negotiating on value boxes.
It's the first thing I thought of when I read the caption.
We gave Jason shit for not for not negotiating. Now, if it's that good of a deal, I'm not negotiating. I'm just going to pay the man his full money. But I think you guys might have a different take on this.
I think you always have to try.
Look, are we talking about negotiating down to under $1 a card?
Like, hey, would you do 40? 35? I'm throwing it out there. I don't care, guys.
I just am not seeing Jay's non-negotiation and this as a 1-to-1. I mean, Jay was like single card $20. This is 45 cards or 44 cards. I could have seen him go 44, but like then you got to pull out 4 singles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be super frank. I'm not giving no Tim Tebow play of the week personally, but I respect it. Yeah, it's 120x. It is real. Yeah. Ooh. And he's got the other cards. It's kind of fair. It's a fair point.
I love it.
It's a great play. It is.
All right, one more.
Good play.
All right, this is from JPS _card _collection. It says, here's my play of the week. All the way back on September 30th of last year, I purchased a 2019 Topps Chrome Vlad Guerrero Jr. rookie for $7.99. It was $12.18 with tax and shipping. Sent it to PSA when it was only $15. Returned earlier this month as a PSA 10. Listed on eBay and with 1 day accepted an offer of $175. Altogether, the investment with PSA and after eBay selling fees, I profited $127.60. Love the content. Cheers.
Nice.
This is why I hope PSA brings $10 to $15 grading back, because we talked about this pre-shutdown, but this is how like a lot of people were able to build equity in cards, go into those value boxes, buying stuff like that, and like buying $5 to $10 cards, setting them off, getting them back 6 to 8 months later, a year later, boom, you got a nice ROI later down the road. You're basically just pushing your profit down the road by adding the value, grading it. Love the play.
I love it as well. Jay said, look at the original title. Love a good diamond bin steal to open up an auction. An auction title. I think that's very, very funny. Ryan, I jump on the phone real quick. Big fan of that. Makes me laugh every time. And I agree. I hope one day we can get back to like a $40 option with PSA. I think that has an outside chance of returning one day down the road. Because Ryan's right. It's a big piece of the puzzle. It's how a lot of people get in the mix. So I hope it comes back as well.
I like what seemingly is that JPS card collection sold this yesterday and immediately hit us for play of the week.
I love that.
Means a lot to me.
I love that a lot.
I mean, this card
Vlad's still cooking, right?
This card probably hasn't even been picked up by the post office.
Yeah, I mean, it's sitting on his desk right now.
He hasn't even put it in an envelope yet, and he's play of the week.
Yeah, get it out there.
Sign of the times, boys.
Pretty good.
Signs of the times.
This is a good play of the week. There's some solid stuff here.
I agree. There's a lot of good ones.
Some solid stuff here. PMGs really went there, huh?
I mean, to take a Pepe, hit a Pepe, then give the guy a box of Chrome for like, hey, man, thanks for the advice. Then get a couple more and hit something off those good vibes. I mean, hard to beat that. Taking a Brady Prism Silver Raw from $125 to $700 with a quick turnaround from, SGC, right? Could have sent it into PSA, waited a little bit longer, maybe got more there, but SGC, quick flip, make your money move on. Giannis, Gold Kabooms before the market's hot, taking a chance on one that maybe not be in perfect condition for $800. Like there's and then, like Tyler said, buying a Vlad, sending in cheap PSA and getting it back later. And, not even shipping it, just being like, hey, play of the week. Shout out to Carl.
I love it. It actually means a lot to me that happened.
Yeah.
Did you guys pick?
The Tebow play, for sure.
You picked Tebow? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I'm all
Tyler,
about the value boxes. I love it.
No chance. No.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
all right. I picked Pepe.
MLS Topps Chrome.
I pick Pepe as well.
Bang.
I'm not saying it's not a great play. There, just like last week, a lot of great plays. I like
A lot of good plays this week for sure.
Love the value box play.
I just want. I know that you could say it's lucky that he pulled a red out of the box. I just think it's very all-encompassing of what cards is. You get a box for 120, you rip a box, you get something crazy, you not even grade it, you just put it up and sell it and you make money. Boom. That's my favorite thing.
And then
I love opening.
Shout out to the guy that gave you the advice. Hey man,
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes. You're the man. Here's a box.
Yeah.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. And then you pulled out 25 and you grade it.
Yeah. Huge.
Yep.
That's the winner for sure to me.
Agreed.
All right. So Adam, snap it's more with the win on Play of the Week. Congrats, Adam, for the win.
Are we doing the new thing yet or no, Ty?
POAP?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we
should
are.
Talk about it, right?
Yes, we are. Every single winner of Play of the Week. My hope is, but I can't speak for Jason, that we have previous winners documented. But every single Play of the Week winner will be receiving a free NFT in the form of a POAP, which is called Proof of Attendance Protocol. You're able to claim it for no cost, and we will be using it to celebrate our Play of the Week winners. Hopefully build a little community there, good way to engage with the Player of the Week winners. Maybe we do a little Player of the Week winner meetup, at a card show, maybe the National. We're going to start building that little Play of the Week winner community out and bring some value to them, and I'm pumped about that.
There's something for me as a person who doesn't know NFT super well. The difference between a POAP and an NFT, and excuse me for speaking in general terms and whatever.
Yeah.
There isn't necessarily a value associated with the POAP as there is with an NFT.
There is.
Interesting.
Like if you go on OpenSea, people sell POAPs.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of it if it's proof of attendance?
Well, people are selling graded concert tickets.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
POAPs, proof of attendance protocol, are built on what is called a layer 2, a layer on top of Ethereum called XDAI, which allows for them to be pretty much free transactions.
Right.
There's no gas per se. In order to sell it, though, you would have to move it over onto the Ethereum mainnet, and that would cost gas, and then sell it. But
interesting.
Do I believe that there's inherent resale value for a Play of the Week POAP? No.
Of course not, because we're nobodies. But I just meant in general, I thought it was more of like a...
Hopefully, though, we can make it into a little crew. You get a T-shirt here and there, potentially.
Listen, it would be a real shame if on this episode right now, we could just slap the POAP on the screen. It's like, boom, Play of the Week winner. Be a real shame if we could do that, Jay.
You put it in my hand right here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up. We got latest launch. So actually, some decent stuff coming out this week. You do have the Premier Collegiate product coming out this week. You've got Flawless Collegiate briefcases with about 10 cards per box. You've got Top Stadium Club Chrome Baseball. You have Decision Cut Signature Edition, which is like presidential and political stuff. And then you've got, let's see, that's it for this week. You'll have some hockey and some basketball coming out next week, but for this week, that's all we got.
What does Flawless Collegiate sell for?
I want to say like $4,000, $3,500 a briefcase. It's currently out of stock there. I can double check real quick. I want to say that's what it is, about $3,500.
I love it. Mercedes is appealing. The almost accident on Sunday. Let's go. Get out of here, man.
So, Luke, can you explain that a little bit more for someone that's a little bit more novice?
Sure. So there was, and I would call it a dust-up during the race on Sunday between Max and Lewis, where Max essentially pushed Lewis off the track to try to keep position, which is bullshit, and it's cheating, and it's unsafe, and it's not fair, and Max should be punished. And I'm glad that, especially after running and tattling to the refs on Friday and Saturday, which is some other shit, which is bullshit too. But I'm excited to see that they're reviewing it, and I hope that Max is at least fined because he's been doing that all year.
Couldn't they? So it said on here, like they could. Can they give him like a time penalty on that race, which would change the outcome?
I guess they could.
Or would it be the next race?
I don't think they're going to do it either way. I think it'll be a fine. I don't think they'll get in the way of the actual results of the race.
I would agree.
I would hope they don't, to be honest.
All right.
Because I don't want to win by cheating like Max is trying to. I hate cheaters. I'm historically anti-cheater.
I think Goldin has some Cersei autos that are going up.
Really?
Yeah. PSA 10s.
Yeah.
You knew about that, right?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. But I also saw, I believe, Amelia Clark signed with Leaf for their upcoming Pop Century set. Leaf actually has some decent signers coming up in that. I follow Leaf on Twitter. I'll pull it up. But I believe they signed Amelia Clark for that's who Ty, you're not talking about.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
I'm talking about the same
nailed
person,
it.
right?
You nailed it. Yep.
Big Game of Thrones guy.
Let me see. Leaf. Yeah, if you follow Leaf right here.
Here it is. Here's the
they
tweet.
announced a bunch of them, their
Ty.
Pop Century product. They got Joe Exotic in this one again. Heidi and Spencer Pratt. Chevy Chase.
By the way, I definitely said Cersei, and it's not Cersei.
That's what I thought. Because Cersei's a Lannister.
Correct.
That's why I was confused. I was like, that's not who that is. That's why you confused me for a second.
Correct.
Big Game of Thrones podcast over here.
Yeah.
Big fans.
Yeah.
I wonder what
Clearly not good with names. What's that?
Monster Sign Alert, yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder.
Monster Sign Alert, one of the hottest names in all of non-sport trading cards. Welcome to Pop Century, Amelia Clark. They did sign her.
Wow, that's cool.
That's a big
That'll
sign.
be interesting. It'll be exciting. I love weird stuff.
All right. What an episode.
It's been a pleasure, boys. Been a pleasure.
Jay, don't forget Ryan Tannehill.
And pull up.
The Tannehill thing's going to be interesting.
We're still going.
No, I think we're done.
Can I have?
We're still going?
Can I have 30 seconds to name quarterbacks I would take over him?
Yes, and Tyler, don't interrupt.
I won't.
Okay. Stafford, Russell Wilson, Kyler, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I'll give you the Matt Ryan thing. I'll push that aside.
Okay.
You've got not Falcon Panther. Dak Prescott, and I'll even give you Jalen Hurts for now. I won't say that. That's the NFC. Okay. Then you've got Herbert, Mahomes, Carr. Then you've got Burrow.
Oh my God! Come on, Rye.
You're taking Tannehill over Burrow?
You're taking guys that are like in the same like.
You're like making all these weird like they were good 5 years ago.
Yeah,
like,
you're making like
Joe Burrow.
They might
That's
be
who
good.
I said.
I'm talking about right now, bro, as a quarterback.
And it's
right
all,
now
like,
as a quarterback. I'm taking Joe Burrow every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I would put them in like the same category.
No way.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what everybody says.
There's no way.
I think you're wrong.
I didn't jump in on that one.
That was me.
Keep going.
Sorry, Ty.
Joe Burrow, Lamar
The count's
Jackson,
getting short.
not Baker, not Ben. The only one you're taking in the AFC is Josh. Is Josh Allen, and then you've got Wentz. No there, and not Trevor Lawrence at the moment.
So it's like 14th.
Yeah, I mean it would come down to Matt Ryan, Jalen Hurts, or Ryan Tannehill.
And like 4 of the other guys you mentioned.
In
it's
what
like all
world,
one
bro?
Group.
Like you're just please, Jalen Hurts, Ryan.
He's in that same debate.
But Burrow's not?
No.
All right.
Burrow doesn't have half the team that the Titans have. That line is like one of the worst. I mean, they're playing better
Jamar
this
Chase
year.
on his team, you psycho.
Derrick Henry's the best running back in the league.
Correct. So then that's like kind of the same. Jamar Chase is like the rookie of the year. Derrick Henry's out, and they just won by like $1 million.
Back to back.
They're 7-2, Rye, and I hate the Titans. I think they stink, but they're 7-2.
I think they're good. I just don't think it's Ryan Tannehill while they're winning.
It doesn't make any sense the way you talk.
Game manager just
Get me out of
left, hand off
game
right.
manager. Derek Carr is like, if you look up game manager in the dictionary, it's a picture of Derek Carr.
They're in the same conversation.
I agree. So you can't put one over the other.
Done? And what this
I mean,
Russell
come
Wilson?
on.
Chat.
He was the MVP for the first month of last season. So put some respect on his name.
Yeah,
Brother. Russell
Team hasn't
Wilson
been
over
relevant
Ryan
in a
Tannehill.
minute.
I mean, come
All right.
on.
Let's wrap it up. Get me out of here. I
All
thought we
right.
were done before.
Well, I got to get some feedback on this. I got smoked for Jalen Hurts. So if people tell me Ryan Tannehill is you know, in the
Jalen
same
Hurts,
conversation
bro,
as
it's like-
Herbert and
No, I'm not. No one's
Tom
saying
Brady. We should just
that.
stop.
No
I mean,
one's saying that. Like,
this is wild.
no
I mean,
one's saying that.
Tannehill's an MVP. He's like, he's gonna like sign an $80 million guaranteed Kirk Cousins type contract.
Bro, you're trying to put Jalen Hurts in the same combo as Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback.
You asked me
right
who
now.
I would start a team with right now. Ryan Tannehill's in the same conversation as Jalen Hurts for starting a team. Ryan Tannehill has not accomplished anything, and they're
That's
not
fair.
the reason they're going to win a Super Bowl ever. They would not win a Super Bowl because of Ryan Tannehill.
That's
you win
fair
a Super
argument.
Bowl because of Patrick Mahomes and because of Tom Brady, not because of Ryan Tannehill. That is a much different
That's not the
conversation.
conversation.
You asked who I would start a team with.
Yeah, right now.
Not Ryan Tannehill. He's not even in the top 12, not top 14. He's right around 14 or 15.
That's kind of crazy.
Joe, you said, who am I starting a franchise with? Joe Burrow's the answer. Ryan Tannehill's not. One of them has been in the league for 2 years. One of them has been in the league for 10 years.
I would take Joe Burrow over Ryan Tannehill to lead my team. I would. Jalen Hurts is crazy.
At this point, right now, I mean, you're probably not wrong. It's probably Ryan Tannehill over Jalen Hurts.
How about
Matt
Russell
Ryan-
Wilson?
Yes, I thought 1,000,000%. Couldn't be more sure. It's not even close.
Okay.
Not even close.
So your whole argument just fell apart in like 2 seconds. I got to get out of this conversation.
No, Russell Wilson over Ryan Tannehill by a mile.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, man.
All right. That's all I got.
Bye,
We'll see you
everybody.
guys.
My room's so hot right now, bro. The heater is cooking.
This is the longest ending to Car Talk we've ever
This is
had.
the greatest.
My mic got unplugged halfway through this, by the way, so there's gonna be 2 audio recordings.
Nice. You did a mid show audio recording.
Zipper
That's
just
all
like
we got
ripped
for
it
now,
out.
guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.